Well, it's time for our weekly check-in with Hamilton Mayor Fred Eisenberger, virtually via Skype. Good morning, Mayor. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Good to see you again. Hope you had a good long weekend. Let's pick up from where we left off on our last chat. Any updates on the bid for the 2026 Commonwealth Games? All kinds of twists and turns in this thing.
Yeah, it's been kind of dates have been moving around. So as yet, no, we don't have a final determination on this. We're awaiting the province in terms of their decision on whether 26 or 27 works for them. They did indicate kind of general support. This is from the Premier now, and so we're awaiting their decision. And then once we know that, then we can go to council with all of the information around the benefits, the legacy pieces, the housing focus, as well as the pivot to 2026, or 2027, whichever the case may be. And so that's yet to be done, but we're awaiting the province's decision on that one.
Yeah, you mentioned the housing. That's actually a big component for fighting poverty in the city.
Yeah, very big component. I mean, one of the key issues for the city of Hamilton is affordable housing, and that continues. And certainly, we're looking to the federal and provincial governments for funding. And in many respects, the Commonwealth Games is focused on that housing piece as being the biggest legacy out of the Commonwealth Games. So it could very well be an opportunity for us to get on top of that 6,000 affordable housing wait list that is going to be a challenge, and we're going to need our federal and provincial partners to help us do that. So this may be the avenue that helps us get there.
Yeah. How are we doing with city finances?
Just fine. For this year, there's next year that we can worry about now, but for this year, it's looking like we're going to be kept whole by the federal and provincial funding that's coming through, which is great news. That's something that we lobbied hard for all municipalities right across the country. And thankfully, the federal government and the province came through for us to ensure that the recovery is something that is going to be very, very important. And if municipalities are dealing with large deficits, that certainly isn't going to be helpful for future recovery.
Yeah. Well, with the pandemic, and this morning we're reporting 41 new cases in Hamilton, and over 180 active. Dr. Richardson, the medical officer of health, said the numbers are certainly up in non-institutional cases. Is the city considering imposing new restrictions for COVID-19?
Well, we'll follow the guidance of the province of Ontario and their public health recommendations. And as you know, that they've already ratcheted down closures in many restaurants and gyms in Ottawa, Peel, and Toronto, where the numbers have been going up. So if the numbers continue to increase here in Hamilton, I expect that we'll have the same kind of recommendation or a request from our own public health to have the province institute those kinds of measures locally as well. We don't want to go there. We want to continue to keep the numbers low. And increasing numbers is not low numbers, but with things opening up, and with kids in school and restaurants, operating at full tilt, and gyms fully open, you could expect some more cases. But we want to make sure that we minimize them as much as possible, so that we don't have to go to that kind of a closure. So, a couple of weeks from now, we'll know how well we did over Thanksgiving. And certainly we recommended that people stay in their own home and household, celebrate that way, and hopefully many people did. And that should keep the case load down. So we'll continue to work with our public health recommendations to ensure that public safety is paramount, and that public health is paramount as well, and that we try and maintain functionality of our cities as much as we can.
Okay. Before we go, there's been more homicides. Those numbers are creeping up. Are there any conversations with the city and police in making residents feel safer?
Good question. You know what? Not far from my home on Regina Avenue, a couple of potential homicides. I don't think the word is out yet in terms of what the circumstances were around that, but certainly we're seeing increased domestic violence, in fact, throughout the city, and certainly police are very cognizant of that. Increased mental health issues, as a result of COVID and other circumstances, financial and otherwise. So it's a very, very important topic, and we're asking people to get the help and care they need during this time of crisis. If they're having a mental health crisis, get a hold of the mental health hotline. And and get the help and assistance you require. And so we encourage people to do that. And we're ever vigilant about tragic incidents like the ones on Regina just over the weekend. So we can't necessarily prevent these incidents from happening, but preventative is people getting the help and treatment they need before it becomes a homicide or a murder or otherwise.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Wish we had more time. We'll check in again with you next week. I think your dog wants to, actually, so we'll let you go.
I heard him loud and clear, right? He's telling me something. I'll have to pay attention to that.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor Fred Eisenberger.